But you guys really think that the Earth is flat?
Yes, because it observes and measures that way. That's the way we see it, and that's the way we use it and measure it. So nobody's demonstrated ever that the surface of water is curving at a continuous rate, which would mean it's curving around to become a ball. When we measure it, it's just showing no deviation from horizontal. Didn't like that one. It's like, nah, it's too much for me. Water.
If you would go back to planes, like, would it be like an accurate experiment to do if we had like a plane that flies a circle around like the Arctic Circle? And then
what would that prove?
You take like flight data and look at the speed that it traveled and stuff and the time that it took to do that. And then you do the same thing around the Antarctic Circle and would take the time and the speed that it took and stuff like that, just that you have an equivalent speed or something like that, and then wouldn't that prove something if the plane
No,
went
with two
around
planes going in a circle, change the fact that the surface is not curved?
No, the time that it takes them to circumvent that circle. Like,
you're presuming that Antarctica in this case is
I'm not
somehow...
presuming.
Yes, you are. Like,
no.
Yes, because we don't have a map that has Antarctica as an outer circle, so there could be Antarctica as an island, and then you would get a similar amount of time circling it.
But it wouldn't be going around an island, it would be going around the Antarctic Circle.
Yeah,
which is like
an
a
island.
line of longitude.
A circle around a spot.
But it's not about the island, it's about the circle that you take. Not that you're circling an island, it's just that in the Arctic, it just happens that there is the Arctic in the center of that circle. Special lines of longitude.
Yeah, the point is, if you're going in a circle, and if that circle is equally big, all you figured out is that circle is equally big. You didn't figure out if that circle conformed to your sphere, and if that southern part, or the magnetic south, is actually the bottom of a globe, and you're going around the bottom of a globe. You could just be going around the circle of an island.
But you're doing it along lines of longitude. So if the Earth would be flat, we'd know that Antarctica is basically at the outside of it, and then at least it's south of the equator, so it would immediately take way longer for a plane to go around that line of longitude.
Yeah, no, that's again presuming a map. Like, you're presuming the map there.
Yeah, but I mean, if you think that the Earth is flat, it would make geometrical sense.
It's not about us thinking that the Earth is flat. No, stop. It's not about us thinking that the Earth is flat. That's how it measures. So if it measures flat, it's not a globe. And so it doesn't matter if you fly in circles that are equally big in two locations. That doesn't mean the Earth suddenly becomes curved and the measurement's curved. It doesn't change.
It doesn't have to be. I mean, in your model, it doesn't have to be curved, but you could try to.
Yeah, but you're assuming that Antarctica is going to be on the outside of. Are you talking about an AE map?
Yeah, that's kind of the model that was presented to me.
Yeah, no, we don't describe to that model. That's a globe projection.
Okay, but still, if do you still think that?
Okay, but still, no. You got to understand.
We don't have to talk about.
We're not making the claim that you're trying to falsify here. Our claim is the surface isn't curved, and you talking about going in circles in some places doesn't change the fact that the surface isn't curved. Do you get that?
Yeah, I guess.
I didn't get it.
It's just because because you don't really have like a model that is like explainable to visualize.
Yeah, we don't
easily,
claim a
so-
model because we haven't gone out and measured the whole world and created a model. What we have done is gone out and measured the surface of water, and the water isn't curving according to the globe. And so either the globe is so much bigger that we live on a tiny flat spot on it, or the Earth is flat. There's two options for you.
Hey.
How do you explain that there's day and night?
The sun moves.
It has to be a sphere.
No, it doesn't.
No. The
Why?
sun moves. Just like you observe, the sun moves.
But sun is much larger than the Earth.
No,
And
it's not.
light up
Is it?
Planet.
Is it? How do you know that?
You don't know that?
Affairs.
How do
In
you
order
know
for
that?
you to make an assumption like that, you need to measure the Earth and then the sun. You can't measure either. Have you ever measured either for yourself, Fairs?
No, I didn't.
Fairs? You haven't. Okay. So it's an assumption that you're talking on, and it's not a fact, right? Unless you have evidence that the sun is 93 million miles away and
Right.
a
There's
couple
another-
100,000 miles in diameter.
We see the sun as a circle, right? And the moon.
I mean, I
Everything
don't know what
we
you're
see
getting
as
at here. Sure. I mean, it looks round. Sure.
Why not the Earth's sphere as they are?
Because the Earth is not
it's
in
like-
the sky. You don't see the Earth in the sky. You see circles of light.
So you see
The
the
Earth is
Earth
not a circle of light to
and-
us. It's the ground you live on.
I understand you, but
I mean, I also see clouds in the sky, but I don't think that the Earth is a cloud shape.
Yeah, I see
Mhm.
birds
I see
in the
planes
sky.
in
I
the
don't think
sky as well.
Earth is a bird shape either. This is incoherent nonsense.
Yeah, this is true. Fairs, have you got any experiments for measuring the shape of the Earth or the sun? I mean, I don't know why we're talking about it, but I mean, it's the Flat Earth Discord. Let's talk about the Earth. How can you measure the Earth?
no,
And
I
if you're
don't know.
claiming for it to be a sphere, how are you measuring sphericity, curvature?
Well, you could do long distance measurements and see if there's a drop over distance. Because if it's a globe, you've got a claimed radius, so that radius should be in place.
Spoiler
Have you
alert,
got-
there's no curvature.
Basically.
If can't measure either, then you can't say the sun or moon is bigger or smaller. If the Earth is flat, why do those in the southern hemisphere see the crooks? What is crooks? And the northern
Yeah, I think
hemisphere
he's talking
see
about
flowers.
the Southern Cross.
The Southern
different-
Cross is crux,
yeah.
and where the stars rotate around a central star. It's
Okay.
different in the Southern Hemisphere than the Northern Hemisphere. Why is that if the Earth is flat?
Yeah, you see different parts of the sky. The sky is something we don't know how operates. However, the Earth is measured flat, so it doesn't really matter how the sky operates. It's a non sequitur to the Earth.
No, it's not a
being
non
flat.
sequitur. It's a non sequitur for you to dismiss it. The issue is when you go to the Southern Hemisphere, the stars rotate around a central star, and the Northern
That's
Hemisphere.
what it appears like. However, the
one.
Earth is measured
Can I
flat,
finish,
so it
please?
doesn't
No,
matter
hold
that
on.
the sky appears to rotate
shut
however
up.
you like.
Can I
That's just
finish?
appearances. That
Dude,
is not the
interrupting.
measurement of the Earth. And so when the Earth
Interrupting.
isn't measured curved,
Dude,
it's not
dude.
curved. It's very simple, buddy.
interrupting doesn't prove anything. It just means you don't like the answers, so you overtalk.
Yeah, your incoherent denial of your non sequitur doesn't change the fact
Okay.
that it's a non sequitur.
Can you explain
Those two
from the
things are
flat
not
Earth?
related.
Explain it from the flat Earth model. Why the difference? Go ahead.
I don't need to explain it. I don't need to explain
Flat Earth is-
everything. I don't need to
So,
explain
Flat Earth
everything.
is not a model.
Yeah.
If it's flat, that phenomena would not be real. If it's
Oh no,
a
that's
sphere,
that's just your belief. That's called
Bare
your appeal
assertion.
to incredulity.
So
You
why
don't
don't
believe
you
it could work unless
provide
it's
an
a sphere.
provide
Stop over
an answer?
talking me.
Provide an answer.
I don't need to provide an answer because I don't have a replacement cosmology for you. The sky works the way the sky works. The ground lacks the curvature required for your explanation of how the sky works to work. So your explanation has been falsified at its base.
Explain, then your model is insufficient.
Yeah,
So
we
why
don't
don't you
claim
try
a
and answer the
model,
issue?
buddy. We've already
just told you.
falsified. We already falsified your model, so we're not claiming a replacement model. We're showing you where
Exactly.
your model is falsified. It's very simple. You don't need to be dumb about this.
Let's see. Your next question should be, how did you do this? Not, I demand an explanation. Yeah, flat Earth
Hemispheres.
is not
If the
a
Earth,
model.
if there's a dome and you have a moon suspended in the upper central area of the dome, then people.
Bro,
on
why
the
don't you ask us our position instead of assuming it?
Then I'm just trying to lay it out so you guys can then address it.
No, you're
If
just
you're
assuming.
No,
You're just
sides,
assuming our position
if
instead
you're-
of asking
you're-
us for our
if you
position.
are
That's called a
on-
straw man fallacy.
if you're on the opposite sides of the disk, why do you see the same side of
What
the moon?
disk?
Flat Earth model. Why would you?
Yeah, we don't
see
have a
different-
flat Earth disk for you. So
Well,
why are
I'm gonna
you
tell-
creating the straw
Exactly.
man? What's wrong
Are you a
with
flat
Exactly.
earther? Are you a flat
Hey,
earther?
listen, bro. I'm gonna tell you one last time and get it through your thick head. Flat Earth is not a model.
It's not a reality.
It's not a cosmological model, bro.
Anything that exists can be
Yeah,
modified.
model is
or
not
modeled.
reality. You're making a classic error.
Okay. Yeah, you guys.
Models are
look,
not reality.
you-
Reality is
these are-
reality. Models are
Okay.
wrong. Models
Is the
are
Earth- is the Earth-
approximations of reality and not correct.
Is the Earth flat or not flat?
It's measured flat.
Is it not? Is it flat or not flat? I didn't say if it was measured. I asked you, is it flat or is it not flat?
It's measured that way, yes.
It's also measured as being spherical.
Where?
So-
Show us, dumbass.
Hey, look. Why do you speak so derogatorily? Why are you doing that?
Because
I'm
you're a
minister.
dumbass who cannot listen to a word that's being said, and you have to interrupt and talk over. And then when things have been explained to you explicitly, you straw man and don't actually account for anything that anybody else has said. So you're proving you're a bad faith actor who doesn't actually want to take part in this conversation.
Well, he's
look
made the
foolish.
claim. You've made the claim that
So-
it's measured spherical. So can you show that? Start there.
You made the claim that a model is not a representation of reality. Demonstrate that. You went first.
That's very
Go ahead
easy.
and do it.
No models are representations of reality. This is a common aphorism
why-
within science that
You don't know what
models are
science
wrong
is.
because they are not accurate representations of reality.
Okay.
That's a reification fallacy.
Does the flat idea, the idea that the Earth is flat, or the idea that the Earth is a sphere, which one better represents reality?
The Earth is
It's that
measured
one.
flat.
It's
The sphere is falsified. So,
Okay.
of course,
So-
the flat Earth represents better reality than the globe because
Okay.
the globe is proven false. It's so simple.
Okay, so then
Yeah,
explain
I'll tell you what.
Polaris.
One sec.
Explain
bro.
Polaris and
no,
Crux.
one sec, bro. No,
Go ahead.
we're not explaining anything in the sky. Listen, bro.
Okay, if you
so
can't,
what we're not doing.
it means your system's falsified.
Listen. Just
can't answer
relax and listen
can't
to what I'm
answer
about
it.
to say. Listen to what I'm about to say. Give me a chance. So what we're not doing is coming up with an idea and then going out into reality to see if there's anything that matches that bias. We're
course you are.
allowing reality. We're allowing reality itself to tell us what it is
Oh, yeah.
through observation and measurement
Yeah.
directly.
You're not
Okay.
You're not falsifying anything by looking into the sky and saying, this doesn't match with your imagination of how the Earth works, because that's not what we're claiming. We're just showing you falsifications of how your beliefs don't work.
Okay. Crux and Polaris falsify the flat Earth model.
They don't. They falsify your straw man. That's called a straw man fallacy, because you are not capable of addressing what we're actually saying.
You said the Earth is measured as being flat. That means
Yes.
you presume. That means you then presume that the Earth is flat. If the Earth is flat, then explain Polaris and Crux.
I don't need to explain it because the measurements prove themselves.
So you can't explain it. That
I didn't claim
falsifies
to
your belief.
explain it. I don't
It's all
claim
right.
to have a replacement
You're
cosmology,
defeated.
Numpty.
Your argument's
Dumbass.
defeated.
No,
You're
it's
defeated.
not defeated because you're not actually addressing my argument. You're running away to the sky and claiming, you need to prove everything. That's a Sisyphean task. You're asking me to prove everything when your beliefs have been fundamentally falsified. That is just incoherent. That's a red herring from you not having any evidence of your beliefs.
You won't even believe the facts.
What facts? You don't have any.
There'd be no need to believe facts. They contradict each other. Those two words, belief and fact.
You just have beliefs. We have measurements, which are facts. That's the difference. You believe your beliefs are facts, but you have nothing to back them up.
So, if anybody has any questions or, would like to discuss the name on the door, it's very good cop. I guess someone who does. Yeah, I guess. I mean, hey ho, it's okay.
I got one.
You got one? What's up,
Can you post the video again where you measure the Earth is flat?
Sure. I mean, we can post many different experiments and tests that we've done to prove that the Earth is flat. Could we get a GIF of the? I mean, we can use lasers. We can use physical landmarks to depict distance.
Yeah, there was like one laser test that apparently took like refraction and stuff into account. That's the one that I wanted.
Okay, if anyone knows what he's talking about, drop it in the chat.
I mean, so one of the flat Earth, it was like a month ago or something, where someone posted a video in the chat, but I forgot to grab it.
Oh, okay.
About that.
Well,
here's Dr. John D. He's a PhD in spectral photometry, and so he understands refraction. He went out and tested it in many different days. He offered anybody to come out and join him, and he tested it specifically during the times when refraction should have been the least, and when the refraction should have been upwards. And so during those times, you should not be able to see beyond the geometric horizon. That should be impossible. And so he was a globe believer, PhD at that, and he wanted to debunk us. So that's why he put those constraints. He went to try to find the conditions required to debunk us. But when he did so, turns out we're correct, and the globers are just retarded. They never actually check these things. They just assume them because they want to believe the Earth is a globe.
Yeah, I was just asking for the video. Thank you.
Right. So, have you given that video a quick watch, Rusty P?
45 minutes long.
Yeah, I know. I just watched the first.
I'm doing it at 2x speed.
Yeah. Okay. Well, did you watch the first part, the previous peer-to-peer observation? Did you see the different factors that he took into account? So, in some instances, it was a little bit too foggy.
I gotta watch it again. I skipped a little bit forward.
Okay. Would you like to talk about the previous or the observation where it's? Hang on. 23rd of February 2019.
And if you want to learn more about this, I can send you my optical framework where I, instead of going in circular reasoning, assuming the Earth is a globe, and then looking and seeing that you see too far, assuming refraction covers the gap to make it a globe, circular reasoning, you go in a full circle. I start with basically taking all of the optical constraints and constraining it down into an optical framework, and then seeing what's left. If there's any geometry left after you constrain all of the optics involved, you're looking at perspective collapse, where when you look out, you see the ground appear to ramp up. Even you're on the globe, you're supposed to be falling down. You're still seeing it ramp up. Even when you're looking down a flat
Mr.
hallway.
Drucker, how I can?
Sorry. Even when you're looking down a flat hallway, you know it's flat.
Please, I have question.
Yeah. You can ask the question.
Can I ask you about flat Earth?
Yes.
Why is flat Earth?
It's because it's measured flat, and
Because it has to be.
All of the supposed evidence for the globe Earth is actually either fallacies or misconceptions. It doesn't have any validity to it, and so the globe is just a belief system, not actually what you experience. You live in the world, you experience the world as flat and stationary. That's how you operate in it. That's how we build everything in it. That's how everything works. But then you believe it's a globe beyond that. That's a belief system, like a religion.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
So back to what I was talking about, perspective collapse. And so when you look down a flat engineered hallway, the ceiling and the floor are equal distance away from each other. It's flat. But when you look down the hallway, the floor appears to rise up, the ceiling appears to collapse down, the walls collapse together into this vanishing point. This is the vanishing point of your vision caused by the diffraction limit of your eye. And so this is how optics work. We have a limit to our vision based on this diffraction limit, how big the aperture of your eye is. And so that's the limit of our vision, the horizon. However, that gets modified slightly by refraction. And the globers want to believe that refraction allows you to see forever beyond the globe, but that doesn't actually work. That if that were happening, we would have effects. We would be able to quantify how much refraction is happening because of that, and we would see separation of wavelengths as a consequence. We don't see that. We see the inverse. That when we see further, the less refraction. When we see less, there's more refraction. That means refraction is causing ray loss, which means bottom of objects, those rays from the bottom of the objects are actually curving slightly down.
Hello guys,
so
how are you?
I thought talking. Once those rays hit the surface, you lose the bottom of the object and it's unrecoverable. Compared to if you look with your eyes, you can see 3 miles away. That's because the diffraction limit of your eye, you can calculate it based on that, see how far you see based on that. But if you use a bigger aperture camera, long distance camera, you can actually see boats that should have disappeared behind Earth curvature far beyond what your eyes can see. So things that disappear to your eyes can be visible in the high-powered optics. And that's because of the diffraction limit. But when those rays get lost at the bottom, you still can't recover those rays, even with better optics. And when you see conditions where there's very low refraction, we can see very, very far, like in the case with the black swan image. We can see that we can no longer distinctly distinguish the horizon because we're hitting the extinction limit of light in air. And so the horizon starts fading into this band, and you kind of need to turn up the contrast to see where the horizon is. I'll show you an image.
I know the black swan. The thing is though, like, doesn't refraction work both ways? So it can refract downwards or upwards?
Yes, and that's what I'm telling you. When it refracts downwards, you lose the bottom of objects. Or we have the refractive effects called stooping and towering. Stooping is when an object gets compressed down and it becomes smaller. And so once it becomes too small for your eyes to discern, it becomes practically invisible. It gets compressed down into the horizon line. And so towering is the opposite effect when light refracts upwards and you get the image stretched upwards and you get a band of like distortion. That's towering.
It's like a superior and inferior mirage, right?
No, those are different things. Those are when there's actually a layer that allows basically the reflection of the ray so that you can see an inverted image in the sky or in the ground where there should be no such image.
Yeah, that's an inferior mirage, isn't it?
Yeah, that's an inferior mirage when it's underneath. Yeah. When it's above, it's a superior mirage.
Yeah, if you can see things that should be hidden behind the horizon, it's a superior one.
No,
it's an inferior one. You can see basically like the sky being
superior mirage is when you see an object in the air, like a ship, that's inverted, so it's upside down. It's a reflected image of the ship. That's a superior mirage. An inferior mirage is when you see the object reflected underneath the image. What you're trying to articulate is the claim of looming. They claim that objects can loom across the Earth curvature, and you can see projected images of things. However, in my optical framework, I address all of this. Looming is when the sky is being reflected, but the object is not, because of the curvature of the rays when they're hitting the temperature gradient. And so it looks like the object is flying, but what's actually happening is the surface is reflecting the sky, making the object appear to be flying, but the object is not. And so we can show this just like with when I told you earlier, different wavelengths refract at different rates. And so if things are being refracted, we can look in different wavelengths and see this wavelength refracts less than this wavelength. So if we are seeing this because there's more refraction, the wavelength that has a more effect with refraction will show us more. The wavelength that has less effect with refraction will show us less. However, when we actually test this in reality, we find that wavelengths that supposedly have less refraction actually allow us to see further with the horizon. And so that's telling us that what's actually limiting how far we see is partially refraction, because things that refract less allow us to see further. Things that refract more are not allowing us to see further. So the globe is not being hidden by light allowing us to see around the globe, making it appear flat. It is actually flat, and light actually refracts, and that is causing the illusion that makes people assume the Earth is a globe when it isn't actually a globe.